Well, hello there to my Libras. Hello to you with your general reading. Happy Mercury retrograde. If you're watching this video on November the 9th, on Sunday, November the 9th, Mercury is officially retrograde. Yay! Mercury is a personal planet. Mercury is the planet of how we think, learn, and communicate. Well, all right. All right. Mercury is Gemini and Virgo's ruling planet. And so how we send messages is not always how we receive them. You, Aquarius, and Geminis are air signs. And so when we talk about auric layers, you, Aquarius, and Geminis are the astral auric layer, fourth auric layer, right? Heart chakra, right? The fourth auric layer. So harmony of truth, restoring balance, awakening light is going to be your overarching theme for your reading. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Welcome back. Healthy work-life balance is what I'm seeing for you all so far. So again, happy Mercury retrograde. Mercury went retrograde. It's been pre-shadow retrograde for a while, but it's currently and it's preparing you. So pre-shadow retrograde, and so obviously planets don't move backwards. They don't move at a slower pace, but you want to slow down and get your messages right. And so constantly being in sending and receiving mode, sending and receiving, right? So they could be coming through astral projection. You could be getting downloads through dreams. Something could feel like illusions and confusion. And so I would always say when you're getting mixed messages about things, whatever your belief system is, obviously this is not Bible study. I'm reading cards, okay? So this is not, I'm not your pastor, your priest, your God. Hold none of those titles. I'm reading your cards. That's it. You're tuned in. Don't overthink this. Whatever messages you're getting and you're getting downloads, I would say whoever you believe is your higher power, if you need to go out and get some fresh air, pray about it, go to a higher power, go to self, however you get messages, downloads, go within, however, reflections, to think about whatever. Balance, right? Be fair to yourselves. Healthy work-life balance is to make sure you're not your own worst enemy, right? So looks like this is a justice card here, right? So the polarity to the justice card is Aries, right? So that's first house. You all rule seventh house, right? The polarity to that is Aries, and that's your first house, right? So I would say go to your first house. Don't look at your polarity sign as being a bad thing. Look at it as helping you, actually. Independence. Aries is a very independent zodiac sign. We're not talking about a person that you know. We're talking about your first house. All the answers that you seek are within you. Go to your birth chart. I have a link for free birth charts on my website, queenamonra.com. Go and pull your own birth chart. Go seek within. What is your zodiac sign in your first house? I'm also offering readings, personal readings, donation readings. So that means whether you can afford to get a reading or not, then you can still get a reading. Some people can afford readings, some people cannot. And they're just donations. So 15-minute readings. So that's your choice. But the polarity to the justice card is Aries. Justice card is Libra's card. And so you don't want to go to someone who has shown you that they are an open enemy to you for advice. Someone who is and an open enemy would be a person who has shown you no matter how many compliments you've given them, they always make you seem like you're the shadow to their light. Always. They are your better half, no matter what. You're the dimly lit bulb. You're not the sharpest knife in the drawer. No matter what, you are always the darkness to their light. That is not the person you want to go to for any kind of advice. Period. You are a star all unto yourself. Meaning that you serve a purpose. You never want to go to somebody who was always looking down on you for something. You are less than they are no matter what. Somebody who is condescending. Oh, you didn't know that? I thought you knew so-and-so. I thought you knew this. I thought you knew that. How in the world are you going to know everything? Everybody adds just as much value as everybody else on this planet. You want to go to somebody who is no respecter of person. That's just that. That's just period. Okay. So a light for you is starting to come on when you go into hermit mode. Hermit does not mean that you're living on the side of a mountain, away from the rest of humanity. Hermit just means that you're in communion with your higher self. That's it. That's like when you, in lay terms, it's literally like you're going home after a hard day's work and you're going to wind down. That's it. The TV's not on, or if you got your music on, it's something mellow, soft. You're just kind of sort of unpacking in your mind, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Some men call it man cave. Women call it, I don't know, a women cave. I don't know. But you're having a total recall of your day. You could be having a whole total recall of your life. You're paying attention to who said you was on some kind of high horse, who thought they were better than you are, and your family. I mean, like you're just having downloads. People in your family, you're looking at who thought your mom was better than your dad, or your dad's family thought your mom's side of the family was better than, or looked better than, or they thought they were smarter than the other side of your family. Like all of these thoughts are coming to your mind. Who on your job, treated this group of people better than that group of people. And it can be overwhelming. That's what a tower moment is. A tower moment is just like, really just like, wow, who was unfair to you because they thought that they were better? Sometimes it is race. Sometimes it's ethnicity. Sometimes it's nationality. Sometimes it's because somebody made more money. Sometimes it's because of more education. Sometimes it's whatever. Socioeconomic status. Sometimes it is people who have more education treat you like you are just as good as they value you because they're just fair. They're like, you know what? I was once where you were. Some people treated me like that too. They misunderstood. They didn't treat me like I had any sense, right? They treated you fairly. Sometimes it's the opposite, right? They weren't condescending to you. They were fair to you. So somebody is fair-minded. Somebody is fair, right? And so you're getting a message. You're getting downloads. You're getting a message from a fair-minded energy that somebody who is not condescending, somebody who does shine in dark spaces, somebody who has been treated less than by a group of energies, who's been treated less than by an organization, people who look down on people, maybe because they were treated less than, right? And a light had to come on from them, right? And so something from them is just, like I said, overwhelming. Something could have overwhelmed a third party. And as you see this side and this side, something could have overwhelmed a third party. Something could have been overwhelming, for somebody because they were kept in the dark about something. And they are enlightening people because people thought they were on such a high horse, right? Thinking they were balancing someone out, playing good cop, bad cop, and that's just a term, we're not talking about necessarily the police, but, somebody could have thought you're a bad person, bad. We thought we were balancing somebody out, right? Just narcissistic, like I heard an actress, never mind, I won't use this story because it'd be kind of obvious who the actress is because they gave a pretty compelling story. It was kind of sad to even hear because they're an A-list actress, but so I refrain from that. But anyway, something was overwhelming for somebody because this couple did something to somebody to overwhelm them, and it was, they were mirroring compassion. This is right here is supposed to be compassion. They were mirroring compassion. They felt like in their that another person, this star, was on a high horse. So they said, okay, let's play this little stupid game and, you know, play good person, bad person. But they were both bad. They were, neither one of them were really compassionate. They felt like, okay, let's get to this person and bring out a temper in this person and see if they're going to be impulsive and be reactive, right? Not responsive, but be reactive, and see if they are going to cross a line, like a state line. Let's see if they're going to cross a line where the justice system, right? Where the laws are different from one state to the next, right? But instead, somebody decided to pray. Instead, somebody decided to pray. Let's get into your reading. Let's get into your reading. So here we have the dumb couple. The harmony of truth, restoring balance, awakening light. Here we have the dumb diddy, whack, whack, whack couple. Y'all remember that kid's book? The dumb diddy, whack, whack, whack. They want to be a star so bad. They want to be the star of the show, the couple. The karmic couple who wants to be the star of the show. So they decide to overwhelm someone's son. So they decide they want somebody to cross a state line because the laws are different in a different state. I love and accept myself. This couple doesn't. What's significant is a Taurus, there's a Leo involved, there's a Sagittarius involved, there's a Pisces involved, there's a Capricorn involved, there's a Gemini involved, there's a Virgo involved. All right, so you can keep that in mind. All right, and that, if I didn't mention, there's an Aries involved in this. So here we go. Here we go. So Libra, this year is a year of karmic realignment and spiritual refinement. Your spread begins with justice and ruling archetype and ends with the world, showing a complete cycle of balance, healing, and ascension. Where you once sought validation, you now seek truth. The Tower and the Moon invite deep shadow work, revealing illusions and relationships or self-image. By the sun and the world, you reclaim your divine harmony and your heart wisdom and your sacred equilibrium. The Spirit whispers your peace is not found in perfection. It is born in the balance between love and truth. This year teaches you to be both soft and strong, intuitive and grounded. You evolve from seeking peace to become peace itself. I'm also going to give you some affirmations that I've created for you all in this. So let's get started in your reading. Let's get started in your reading. So your core energy is this, the Justice card. Your own archetype opens the reading, a cosmic mirror. This year you reclaim inner equilibrium. You learn that truth is not an external law, but an inner vibration. Okay? The Star card is hope and renewal. You are guided by divine inspiration. Healing begins through creativity, compassion, and self-trust. Dreams once distant begin manifesting in divine timing. The Lovers card are your choices from the heart, right? Emotional depth and partnership grow. A major love or soul connection awakens. Choose alignment, not obligation. Love must be mutual elevation. What I'm picking up here is something generational, because Saturn here is Saturn is a a social planet, right? It's the principle, contraction, structure, and boundaries planet. And an entire family could actually see, they could grow up with a child being mistreated. Brothers and sisters could watch their own sibling being mistreated, treated worse than a family dog. They could see this. They could tell their niece or nephew, you know, your mom or dad was treated worse than a family dog by their parent. They could tell their own niece and nephew this, right? To show like, okay, that you have no idea how your parent was treated growing up. That same aunt and uncle could witness the same treatment happening 2.0 and still do nothing about it in a family. Sick. That is absolutely sick. That's what I'm sitting here looking at in the cards. Sick. It's the same good, I'm using the term good cop, bad cop, but it's the same, and I'm not talking about the police. Then let me be crystal clear. I'm talking about within a family. That same behavior within a family. That same like volleyball, like a child in between, that kind of stuff. Like you can have a narcissistic parent that is just very mean spirited, don't want to really see their child. It's the same like that parent in the movie The Heartbeat, the 5 Heartbeats, where the father didn't want to see his son become a star, and the son was all excited about him being a star, and he's like, oh, I made it into the group, and the father's like, I'm not Ish, so you never going to be Ish, right? Just completely just crushed him. Or a mother seeing her daughter, because I'm seeing a man and a woman here, you know, being, you know, living, believing in their dreams and never really being supportive, you know, like breadcrumbing them, maybe showing up every once in a blue moon and just, okay, you should be satisfied with showing up in a blue moon, never really being there for major life events, never really being there. So the 2 pictures they may show up, see, I was there for this, they should be excited, they should be glad they finally showed up for something. And then showing everybody, hey, I was there for such and such, but can't prove that they was there for anything else really real. Source is trying to help somebody see how this breadcrumbing behind closed doors is actually worse. Behind closed doors, something is actually worse. And you could have a family member know all of this stuff is happening and do absolutely nothing about it. They won't get on the stand and do anything about it. They'll sit back and watch it. They'll sit back and watch it unless money is involved. Unless somehow they are a star in something. And I'm saying this because we talk about the number 18, which is money exchange. Unless there's some kind of money exchange involved. That's what's getting ready to come out in court. When I tell y'all, if this is a physical court, it's going to be a whole family getting ready to be exposed. If this is physical court, a whole family is about to be exposed. They want to be stars. It's not going to be the kind of stars they thought. It's going to be a whole family going to be exposed. When you talking about overwhelmed, they wanted to be stars. They're going to be stars, all right. A whole family is going to be exposed. Because also within the number 8 is death. And I'm not talking about just a physical death. I'm talking about death of family members moving away. I'm talking about death of jobs, death of marriage. I'm talking about death of life cycles. When I tell you that it's a family of stars, stars is, I ain't talking about just the stars in the sky, a whole group of people about to be exposed. These family members want to be stars, all right. They're gonna be stars. They sat there like Tweety birds they sat there like the cat with the Tweety birds feathers hanging out the side of their mouth. They want to be stars, all right. They're about to be stars. I don't know whose family I'm talking about here, but this right here, you got certain family members, unless there's money involved, they don't speak up and say. They could literally sit there and watch somebody's child being cussed out until they're crying and having a nervous breakdown, and they won't say a word. They will sit there and laugh and won't do a thing. Horrible. And supposed to be aunts and uncles, won't do a thing. And can't figure out for the life of them why the people don't want to be around them. They are horrible. They shouldn't even have the title of an aunt or uncle. Parent, much less. Won't do a thing. Or grandparent, for that matter. Won't do a thing. Willpower. Momentum builds. By summer, clarity arrives. You take control of your destiny, mind and heart working in perfect tandem. And people talking about people riding on a high horse. The least that some people can do. And this is not the whole family, because some of the family members actually do step in and say something because they see something from a higher frequency. Some of the family members do actually speak up and say something. And they do bring light to certain things. So thank God for those family members who do open up their mouth. But some of them, they all about a money exchange. That's it. That's all they care about. They don't say a word. Some of them get ready to start speaking up now because they stalking the videos. They secretly watch the videos. They get ready to start speaking up now. But for years, because they had to wait for somebody to have a nervous breakdown or have a drinking or drug problem for them to say something. But something is about to come out in court. When you see a tower card, that means all hell is getting ready to break loose. Because somebody is going to start saying, I said something. I've been said something. I said, watch all of this. Well, where was the such and such? But watch somebody comes up. Watch somebody comes up and says, speaking of the law, watch somebody comes up with a legal documentation that they held on to secretly and said with a date on something from a long time ago. It's a family of stars here. It's some stars, all right. It looks like there's one man in the family. There's one man in the family that said something. Somebody is about to be real grateful for this one man that actually said something, that spoke up in the family. That's the part that's going to be kind of confusing. Something in this family here, because we're talking about duality, because this is the duality of this energy here. Okay, so there's a man in this family who has a very nurturing spirit. This is a family situation. This is a family affair. There's a man in this family who is married. Oh, wow. There's a man in whoever's family this is who's married. Who is okay, so somebody is speaking up on his behalf. Okay, the man. Okay, there's a man in this family who is very nurturing. He's a very nurturing spirit, and he actually spoke up on the behalf of someone in this family that's actually going to now repay that favor of speaking up on his behalf and his kindness. So the compassion is actually going to be returned on his behalf. Okay, so this man actually spoke up for this person who was overwhelmed a long time ago in their past. This is a person who was overwhelmed. So they were in between the bad cop and the good cop. Okay, when I say cop, I'm not talking about the police. Okay, when I say this, I want to be crystal clear. When I say cop, I'm not talking about the police. I'm saying like bad parent, good parent, right? Well, actually, they're both bad parents. I'm not judging people's parents, but I'm saying like bad in terms of something else was going on behind closed doors. Publicly, like one looked like bad, one looked like they were good behind closed doors, but both of them were just the antagonists. They behind closed doors. They were overwhelmed, and so this person who was overwhelmed in the past is actually speaking up for this very compassionate energy here, because they see something from the higher frequencies. Like this person right here is now grown up, right? They're shining a light on something. They're shining a light on something, right? So something in that regard is now coming full circle. Okay, this is a whole family. So one side of the family sees another side of the family as they are better than the other side of the family. That's what this is, because when you get this third part, these are generations of kids. This right here, a generation of kids that people are not showing compassion for the kids in the family. So as soon as the kids grow up and the kids, one side of the family thinks that the kids of a generation thinks that they're on their high horse, it's almost like one side has to pull the kids down. Like, do you think, you know, our family is better than your side of the family? We got to show you. That's what this is. This is a family feud within a family. That's what this is. So loving and accepting yourself and you being balanced out makes you a star, because this is one whole purpose. This is one whole person here. This is one whole person here. Where is the and so you being in receiving mode and you being one whole person within a family, you're somebody is remembering all of this. This is you right here. And so what's happening is you had a Saturn return. Whoever you are, you had a Saturn return, and just remembering how you took all the good memories with you of your family. Whoever you are, you took all the good memories of you with your family. So that would be essentially like your traveling light. So you took all the good memories. It's like a person who, once you move away, you say, you know, I'm taking all the good memories. So with the holidays for you, you're not sad. You're taking all the good memories of you when you move away. But something happened where you and somebody were split up, right? This could be a sibling. This could be you and a sibling that are really, really close, right? Right? So even though this picture looks like lovers, but lovers card is also partners. It could be partners in business or partners in love, but it can also be a decision, right? So somebody decided, these two cards right here, somebody decided, and this is, both of these are ruled by Mercury, which is the messenger card. Somebody decided to send a message, right? Send you a message, right? Sending, receiving, right? Both of these are sender, receiver, right? You could have sent out a message or received a message either way of how you had someone's back, but somebody also stabbed you in the back, right? Now somebody is an open enemy to you. Whether y'all were in business together or in a romantic relationship together. And so you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make, right? Because somebody was overwhelmed. So it's like you were split up from somebody. Somebody could have split up. So you could be a person that you could thrive in dark spaces. Like you're cool. Like, okay, well, you're a star regardless. You can stand by on your own. You're fine, right? Where somebody else may feel like they need somebody to back them up. So it just kind of sort of just depends. And somebody may think, okay, well, we can take this person down because they're on their high horse or whatever. You're like, okay, well, let's go. So it's a whole lot going on with this family dynamic here. But somebody about to put something to rest. Somebody about to put some stuff to rest, because this whole situation, this family dynamic is crazy. But if this is a real court situation, somebody ready to go. Somebody like, okay, send them with whatever. They ready. Somebody like, let's wrap this thing up. Whoever this is, somebody is really like, let's wrap it up. Let's talk about it. Let's get it going. And they not bluffing either. Because what somebody is really tired of is the bullying. That's what this is. Somebody is not for the bullying. And the injustices of having, this is like having their loved ones back and then constantly, steadily being bullied by their own loved ones whom they've had their loved ones back. You know, it's like a person who started finally believing in their dreams, you know, taking good memories of their loved ones with them and, bragging on their loved ones and, you know, getting set up, you know, trying to make sure they had enough room for loved ones if their loved ones want to visit them wherever they are, and then being stabbed in the back by their own loved ones and people crossing lines and stuff. They ready to, when I tell you they ready to flame torch them, they like, y'all. Yeah, so show the world the real you. Somebody really, really is a humanitarian, and somebody is just like, yeah. So somebody is, somebody really, really does have a heart of gold and just cannot believe their own family members. But as they start to really remember and kind of go back through their mental Rolodex and just starting to remember certain words and phrases and stuff that they remember and just kind of go back through their mind, they just realize like, man, these people really hate and never accepted them. Like this, the opposite of love and accept. They like really hated and never accepted them. And it's because of either one of the parents, either the mother or the father. So it's like really taking it out on, like either they never loved and accepted the mother or the father, and they took it out on the kids. Yeah, all right, y'all. So something feels too much like home for some people. Something feels way too much like home for some people's families. So for whoever you are, your twin flame is coming in. But I feel like for your twin flame, somebody would rather be by themselves before they actually end up getting married, because they don't want to have to end up in court on the opposing side. Like they don't want to be on the other side of the table going through a divorce. So whether you've been married before or not been married before, somebody does not want to be in that position as a star, having to witness karmic couples, right? Somebody don't want to have to keep, see that, like be in that situation. Seeing the injustice of like having your spouse's back and then always turning around and looking at your spouse stab you, your own spouse stab you in the back because they take their family side over yours and y'all supposed to be married. That's not a twin flame. Yeah, here we have friendships. So, yeah. See this face down, somebody looking down on your friends? Somebody said that you were looking down on their friends. That's their justification. Child, what in the world? Somebody said, somebody that you were married to, okay, this is just as backwards. Somebody is now claiming that you were looking down on their friends. A child, whoever you are, somebody's now saying that they didn't have your back because you were looking down on their friends, but y'all were married. Lord have mercy. That wasn't a spouse. You came into a relationship where they were your opposition from the beginning. They put their friends before their spouse. Child, please. Goodbye. Yeah, family. Goodbye. Here we have prosperity. Child, they put their money and everything before their marriage. Goodbye. Somebody is dealing with somebody who put everything before their own marriage. So goodbye. What a joke. That's a joke. Why get married? Why even say you want to be married to somebody if you saw a person as opposition from the very beginning? You were looking for a bobblehead. You were looking for a inanimate object. Deepening. Once you're on earth for enough lifetimes, your old soul will begin for non-grasping, detachment, and surrender. They bring the peace of God. Child, please. Liberate yourself. Whoever you are, liberate yourself. This person never saw you as an equal. Whoever this is, this person never saw you as an equal. Whoever this is, they never saw you as an equal. You're going to put your friends and family before your spouse. Child, please. You weren't looking for a spouse. Whoever this is, I don't know who you are. They weren't looking. They was never looking for a spouse. You wouldn't even sneeze wrong. They would have jumped to the other side of the table to defend a friend over you. Child, please. Goodbye. That's not even miscommunication. They were looking for a paycheck. That's it. They were looking for number 8. That's a money exchange number. That's all. That's purely transactional. That was it. All right. So let's get some affirmations. They were looking for a complete fool. So here's some affirmations. I am the embodiment of divine balance and truth. The second one is my heart and mind work in perfect harmony. The third one is I release illusion and embrace authenticity. The fourth one is I am love expressed through grace and wisdom. And then the fifth one is my peace is my power and my presence is my prayer. Okay, so even though the full moon was on the 5th of November, people still do full moon rituals, right? So each full moon acts as sacred reflection of your emotional balance, Libras. You're asked to honor both sides of yourself, the giver and the receiver, the dreamer and the doer. And the ritual for you is mirror of light. So you can, 1, sit before a candle lit mirror under moonlight, or visualize one if you like. And then the second thing you do is place a hand over your heart and say, I see myself clearly. I release all imbalance and invite harmony into every breath. A third thing you can do is visualize silver light balancing both sides of your aura, masculine/feminine, light/shadow until you feel centered. Okay. The crystals that you can use are rose quartz. And some of you all may already have these. I did a lot of giveaways where I gave away gemstones and crystals. Some of you all you still have them, right? You can just clean them off, put them under that moonlight. Selenite is one for divine harmony, lapis lazuli for truth. Some of the herbs you may have in your cabinet, please do not go out and buy any. You may have roses. Somebody could have given you rose for love. You may have chamomile tea. Open up that tea bag. For peace, chamomile can be used for peace. You may have lavender tea. You open up that tea bag. Lavender can be used for clarity. You may have thyme. That's for truth. Element air, right? You're an air sign, so you can practice deep breathing or sound baths to release mental clutter. So from November 2024 to November 2025, that's all the way going to carry you all the way out to the end of November. Venus, your ruler, blesses you with opportunities to refine love, art, and self-worth. Pluto's energy deepens your transformation, empowering authenticity and soul-level relationships. You are evolving from seeking outer balance to embodying inner alignment. So your presence becomes medicine. Your aura becomes your voice. So you can say to yourself, I am harmony. incarnate, right? The stillness where truth and love meet. Yeah. Liberate yourselves. Please liberate yourself. Anytime somebody talks about they want to be married to you and they choose their family and their friends over you, you were the opposition from the very beginning. They were looking for a paycheck. That was it. That was purely a transaction. That's it. That was it. Wake up. The light is on at home for you. They chose their friendships over you. Okay. They were only looking for prosperity. They were looking for what it looked like a family situation. That's what they're looking for. What it looked like on the outside. It was a transaction. They ain't nowhere in the world. They didn't see anything. They didn't hear anything. They didn't hear their family mistreat you. You know, you're the problem always. Why even get married? Why even get married? You're the product of their intelligent decision. So why play dumb after you get married? Why play dumb? Now all of a sudden you ain't see and hear anything. Now you got, you know, hearing problems. Now you sight impaired and hearing impaired after you get married. Okay. Where were all these problems? Okay, so where's the insurance card? Let's go get all this checked out now. Let's make sure you can hear and see very well. You didn't hear and see your family mistreat you? Didn't hear none of that? Okay, right. Root canal. I mean, root chakra. Yeah, you get into the root of stuff. They can go play with somebody else. You're not the one. So liberate yourself. You feel liberated. Some of y'all even saw dragonflies. That was it right there. Go liberate yourself. You got a twin flame coming in, right? Liberate yourselves. Source saying you got a true twin flame who will never burn you is coming in. Someone who is not going to treat you like, you know, like you're less than. You know, their family is not going to treat your family like they less than. They see you as y'all are balancing each other out. You bring something to the table. It doesn't matter if they got doctorate degrees and you have no degree. They see you as balanced out. You're balancing them out likewise. They see you as a humanitarian. You know, whether you coming in with $1 billion and they coming in, or you vice versa, they not seeing you as being a gold digger. You know, whatever, or you're not seeing them as being a gold digger. You're no respecter of person, neither are they, right? So, y'all are speaking the same love language, in other words, right? Y'all balance each other out. But all this craziness, somebody didn't hear or see something, that for them, it was just a transaction. That was it. Wake up. The light is on at home. So that's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.